Alright guys, welcome back to another Burgundy only video, and as you guys might know, I've done my pickup video for the Apple Vision Pro and the experience was wonderful. I road tripped all the way there with my Tesla Model 3, and I do have a road trip video coming soon for you guys, but today we are doing a first impressions of the Apple Vision Pro. So I got a day one, so it's been 3 days with the Apple Vision Pro, and I want to talk to you guys about my experience, about the apps that I've using, the pros, the meh, and the cons of the Apple Vision Pro. Let's get right into the Apple Vision Pro first impressions. All right, so first pro regarding the Apple Vision Pro is the design. The design looks amazing. It looks a lot different than all the other VR headsets that are out there. So that's why I really like it. And it does look fashionable in a sense where you can wear it outside and kind of blend it. It is something a little bit more acceptable than something like the Meta Quest 3 or the HTC Vive. The design looks very nice. I like the solo knit band. That is my favorite band. And I still haven't used the dual loop band. The solo knit band does seem to be good enough. I do like the different buttons. So you do have the same buttons that you would have on the Apple Watch. So you have a button right here and you have the digital crown. The same thing that you'll see on an Apple Watch. And I also like the accents on the inside here, the orange accents. I do like the glass design on the front, the screen on the front displaying your eyesight. We'll get to that in a minute. And also the comfort, or the light seal, I should say, is actually pretty decent. I would prefer a black color, and it's very modular. So a lot of these things can be removed, like the light seal and the cushion. So if you have to repair it or fix anything outside of the actual unit, should be pretty easy. But yeah, the design, very, very nice. I like it a lot. It does seem to be a very, very different design compared to other VR headsets or AR glasses or something of the sort. All right, so another pro from the Apple Vision Pro is the eye tracking. So when you first put this headset on, it automatically looks at your eyes. Even the setup, it lets you look at each dot and actually select each dot. And the eye tracking is actually pretty amazing. You can actually accidentally select something just because your eye looked at it. It's very, very accurate and works very well. So yeah, the eye tracking is pretty good. And it is one of the best eye tracking in the game right now. So yeah, the Vision Pro is a beast when it comes to the eye tracking. And regarding the eye tracking, there's a lot of things that you're going to be looking at when you're using the Apple Vision Pro. But the perfect thing about the Apple Vision Pro is that the fidelity is amazing. So the digital content when you're using the Apple Vision Pro is crisp to a T. It really looks like the digital stuff that you would use on your phone actually lives in the environment. So the fidelity of the apps and digital content is perfect. The pass-through fidelity is another thing. It is still great. It is probably the best fidelity pass-through that you can see. The Quest 3 pass-through was not even close. It was very, very much grainy. It was warping all around. It's not something that you want to live in day to day. Well, this, it can be grainy in low light, but it is very, very, very good when it comes to the pass-through. Like, I wouldn't mind living in it with the pass-through. I'm saying this now, the pass-through is amazing, and until anyone can even attempt to make it better than what it is, we're gonna have to be grateful for the pass-through that we have right now and actually enjoy this. We can't forget, we are having cameras looking at the real world, so we're not looking through the glass. So until we can actually see directly through the real world, we might have some graininess when it comes to low light, when it comes to certain lighting. So we're gonna have to deal with that for now, but for real, the pass-through and fidelity of the Apple Vision Pro is bar none the best one. So I've been using this headset a lot, and there's one thing that actually connects me with other people, and it is the Eyesight and personas. So let me talk about the Eyesight for a minute. So a lot of people, a lot of big YouTubers are talking about how the Eyesight isn't as good as what Apple presented to us. And I would admit, the outside screen isn't as crisp as the videos that Apple showed us, but the Eyesight works very, very well. I've been using it, and it does seem that the Eyesight is very good. You can see my eyes, you can see the eye movement. Obviously, if you have digital content, you will not be able to see your eyes. So if someone's looking at you and you have digital content in front of you, your eyes will be mixed with the blue haze, but if you have no digital content, your eyes should be visible. But the problem with eyesight is that if you're looking at a different angle, for example, if you're looking towards the right side, you can probably only see one eye, or you can maybe not see any of them. If you're looking straight onto someone, you can see the eyes very, very perfect, and you won't have any issues. The problem with the eyesight that I see people having is that it's not as bright and it's not as crisp. Obviously, the screen on the outside is low res, but I don't mind that because that's not a screen that you'll be using yourself. I would love for it to be a little bit brighter, but I guess Apple is doing this so it doesn't look too weird. So it's not like your eyes are so bright and it doesn't really match the real world. And I actually think that eyesight is going to be an essential feature when it comes to the Vision Pro, even for the cheap models. I think that eyesight is going to be here to stay, and it's only going to get better, so we might as well get used to it and enjoy it. But to have your eyesight, you're going to have to scan your face, and by scanning your face, you're going to create your persona. Your persona is your digital character that you'll use in FaceTime calls or video chatting calls, and I've been using it and I love it. I think that my persona looks exactly like me. Maybe some certain things don't look exactly the same, but my persona looks very, very good. So I think that Apple is actually doing something different this time, and not having your emoji or a different cartoony character be your face when you're FaceTiming. Keep in mind, you are scanning your face with the Apple Vision Pro. You're not using something outside of it. You're not using your phone. You're not using a high-res scanning at the Apple Store. So you're using the Apple Vision Pro to scan your face, and the device you use for FaceTime calls and video calls is the same device you're going to use to scan your face and display your persona. I'm saying the persona is actually one of the best features out of the Apple Vision Pro that I've seen, and I'm actually happy that Apple is actually making it better. The fact that it's in beta just tells me that it's only going to get better. Maybe at WWDC, we might have an update for the personas, maybe different clothing, maybe your hair will move. So we have ways to go for the personas to be increased and better, but right now the personas are looking very good, and yeah, that's one of my favorite pros of the Apple Vision Pro. All right, so another pro from the Apple Vision is the actual movies and TV show watching. So I was watching Dune in 3D in the cinema environments in the Apple Vision Pro, and let me tell you, this is amazing. How the light from the screen reflects on the ground, how you can just feel like you're really in a cinema is actually amazing, and there's no way to really describe it without you actually being in it. But I also watch movies on Disney Plus, and let me tell you again, the environments are perfect. I was watching Family Guy on Tatooine, and it was just magical. It just feels real. It just feels comfy, real. It feels like you really would rather have that experience than just watching in your own room. Like, just watching Family Guy felt like I was watching a big movie IMAX experience, even though it was just Family Guy. You're gonna actually want to watch a lot of your TV shows and movies in this rather than watch on your TV. Now let's get to the stuff that I thought were meh. So first off, the battery cable. Let me get the battery cable right now. All right, so this thing, yes, the battery doesn't feel too annoying. I mean, the battery I keep in my pocket, it is extremely heavy, but you keep it in your pocket, you forget about it. This cable, all right, so this cable can be very annoying. It is hard to untangle. It is very, very stiff. So you can't really just pull it out and just get it done. You really have to actually detangle it it's just annoying. It's very rigid. It's very hard to untangle. And I feel like it should be just a little bit longer, just so it can flap around. And even if it does tangle up, you won't have to untangle it. But with this cable, I feel like once it tangles up, you have to untangle it because the cable just won't be long enough to put it in your pocket. So yeah, that's just my little meh when it comes to the Apple Vision Pro, but I got a few more. All right, so the lack of apps. I know we are new into the Apple Vision Pro. It hasn't even been a week, but we have 600 Apple Vision Pro apps and over 1 million apps in general, including iPhone and iPad apps that are compatible with the Apple Vision Pro. And there's a lot of apps that you can actually download when it comes to the Apple Vision Pro native apps, but how many apps are you gonna use or are you gonna be able to use? I mean, the number of apps that you're going to actually use is very limited compared to the 600 apps available native for the Apple Vision Pro. And another thing, with the iPad and iPhone apps available for the Apple Vision Pro, there's not a section or a list that you can just go directly and look at all the list of iPad and iPhone apps available for the Apple Vision Pro. The way that I've been doing it is going to the search section, searching for an app, and then going to the iPhone and iPad relevant apps. That's the only way that I've seen that I can do it. I maybe have to look deeper and see if there's a whole section just for iPhone and iPad apps, but it doesn't seem to be a way to just look at all the list of them. So that's my little meh when it comes to the Apple Vision Pro, just the lack of apps. We are on day 3 right now, so it won't really do much to complain about that for now. I guess we have to wait a few months, especially for WWDC. Maybe there'll be more apps being announced. I did see today that YouTube is talking about making an Apple Vision Pro app. So yes, there are apps coming. We just have to wait for that. But right now, the lack of apps, it can be a bother. Another thing that a lot of people mentioned is the weight. I haven't had issues with the weight when it comes to the Apple Vision Pro, but you do feel it. It's not something that bothers me. I can wear this for more than an hour easy, even with the solo knit band. Like, I haven't used the dual loop band yet, and I can still manage with the solo knit band without any issues. So the weight can be a problem for some people, but for me, doesn't seem to really be a problem. I've used the Quest 2, I've used the Quest 3, I've used the Apple Vision Pro, so I'm kind of used to wearing VR headsets. Maybe for someone that hasn't worn a VR headset ever, maybe they'll prefer to have a lighter weight one. I mean, I would also prefer a lighter weight one, but so far, this one does the job pretty well, and I don't have any issues with it. But I'll still add it to the meh section because you do feel it when you're using it. So yeah, it's a meh right now. All right, so let's get into the cons of the Apple Vision Pro. I know a lot of people want to talk about the battery life, so let me talk my experience with the battery life. I think the battery life is actually decent when you're using stuff in the pass-through mode. But when you're doing a lot of environments, a lot of movies, then the battery life might be shaky. I would say that the battery life doesn't seem to be a problem if you're just using it casually and you just charge it up whenever you're not using it. If you want to use it to its full capacity, the battery life is not going to be it, but you can plug it in while you're watching a movie. So that's a way to overcome that issue. So yeah, Apple needs to sort out the battery life, but it is good that the battery is different or separated from the headset. So if there's battery improvements, hopefully we can buy the new battery and still use the current Apple Vision Pro. So another con that I've seen or that happened to me is not something that might be common, but it's something that might happen if you're trying to use your Apple Vision Pro in public. So it's cold outside right now, but when I leave my Apple Vision Pro in the cold and I want to put it on, the inside gets very, very foggy, and it does take a while for it to unfog itself so you can actually start using it. There's not a way around it. I mean, it's fog, you can't really stop that from happening, but it does happen a lot, and it happened to me multiple times for me to actually put in the con section. So yeah, there you go. You might have foggy lenses. Another con that really bothers me, and I feel like Apple should fix this as soon as possible, is the fact that you can't see the battery life until you put the headset on. If you are charging your Apple Vision Pro, you are charging the battery. You're not charging the headset directly. And I wish that you can actually see the battery percentage on your phone the same way you can see the battery percentage for your Apple Watch and your AirPods. But right now, all we have is just a tiny light indicator on the battery itself, and it doesn't really give you an indication on how far along you are in the battery charging. So at least Apple should have added maybe 4 dots and have each dot represent 25% of the battery, or just have it connect to your phone or iPad and being able to see the actual battery percentage through your other Apple devices. Hopefully they can add that on another software update, but so far it's a con for me because every time I'm charging my Apple Vision Pro, I want to wait till it's 100% so I can actually put it on, but there's no way for me to find out until I actually put it on or see the tiny green dot on the actual battery. So yeah, that's a con. And the final con for me right now on my first impressions is the FOV. So the field of view of the Apple Vision Pro can be a problem for some people. For me, it was a problem at first because I didn't notice it at first, but once you're immersed and you're using the Apple Vision Pro, you don't really notice the FOV being what it is. I will add it to the con section because yes, Apple can probably fix the FOV. I'm not too sure if they will have to fix the light seal itself, because yes, if you just put the headset on directly like this without the light seal, then you do have a better field of view, but it's not comfortable. So you wouldn't want to do that. Maybe the light seal might need to be updated for the FOV to be better. I'm not too sure. So far, that's my last con with the Apple Vision Pro. All right, so that's pretty much it for my first impressions. More Apple Vision Pro videos coming up. I will be doing a lot more different style of videos, maybe do a day in the life with the Apple Vision Pro. I will do a review of different apps or top 5 apps you should get on the Apple Vision Pro. I do have a few apps I want to mention, but yeah, this thing is amazing. So I can't wait to use it more again, make another video, maybe compare it to other headsets. I did say in my MetaQuest 3 review that I might compare this to the MetaQuest 3, but honestly, they're not the same. But hey, if you want a comparison, I might get the MetaQuest 3 just so I can compare these and talk about the future of spatial computing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys on another video. Peace.